I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The first resume we have up is a mechanical engineer. So part of the problem with mechanical engineering is that mechanical engineering is a bit like software engineering and that you need to be kind of specific. So typically most engineering or mechanical engineering positions are sort of broken down into what type they are. So that is what this in specific is for. So are you an engine engineer? Are you a aerospace engineer? Do you work on brake pads? We don't know. So typically we want to know that because they're usually hiring for a specific reason. The other things we want to see are MATLAB, Python, and AutoCAD. Do you need Python? Not necessarily, but it's nice to have. But MATLAB and AutoCAD are pretty much need to include. Or any type of CAD, typically if you have it, but preferably AutoCAD. SolidWorks is really, really good. We do need to see your bachelor's as this person is a recent graduate. Their ratio is also 1:75, which is not the worst. Could be a lot better. Again, that's kind of like a C-, although as this is an entry-level position they're seeking, that is the equivalent of a C-. Yeah, if they were like 2 to 3 years, then it would have been, I'd say 1 to 50, which is how many applications it takes to actually get to an interview. So we need to see that. The industry, so this is like, is it healthcare? Is it finance? I don't know what a mechanical engineer would do in finance industry, but whatever. So what type of industry and type of mechanical engineer? Mechanical, electrical plans and specifications, teamwork and communication, and MS Office. This was in about a third of job descriptions. And if it's in the job description, you need to include it on your resume. I know how basic that is, but if everybody included MS Office who had it, it would seriously, there'd be like 10% of people would just immediately get employed. It's shocking how prevalent and needed that is. So, all right, let's see the resume. So, most of the formatting is okay. Nothing here needs to be bolded. Nothing here needs to be bolded. It should be one line. Oh no, you have a minor in business administration. So realistically, you probably could not put it into one line. So 2 lines is fine because of the minor. But you don't really need this. You know what? I'm going back and forth in this. Specifically because normally you don't need to include coursework. Ideally, I'd like to see what types of you've done here, but it could be beneficial to... Oh, wait, no, none of these I needed. Okay, no. I mean, if it said something specifically like biomed or engines, then it would be good, but this can be safely deleted. I had to double check it. And you don't need to do the month. You just need to do the year you graduated. And if you don't want to put the year you graduated, like you graduated a while ago, then that's okay to put status graduated. So nothing here should be bolded. Again, you don't want these little lines in between it. It's not a big deal, but it can help your application to not have those. So engineered a tensile tester for X Research Group's biomimetic. Is that from the SCP Foundation? What is a biomimetic material? Okay. Yielding placements. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I care about this, but you have CAD, which is good. See, this is kind of the problem, is the person reviewing your resumes probably have no idea what an displacement resolution is. And I did hire mechanical engineers before, but that was admittedly like 7-8 years ago. Those were my primary days of hiring mechanical engineers, so... but yeah, this is what I actually care about in this sentence. It is good that you tell me what you did, though, but this is a little too technical. Reduce friction in linear motion by 15%. I don't know what that means. Via custom-made stainless steel rods. The stainless steel rods could be useful if it gives a hint of the industry. GDT and compliance, readability. Yeah, so here's the problem. I am all the way down here, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what a biomimetic material analysis is. Is that involving in engines? Is that airplanes? Is it circuit boards? I don't know, but that is what I'm going to need. Conducted 100 plus tensile tests, extracted strain data, load output in Excel. Excel is good, although there are other things I would like to see. Excel is still good. Define mechanical specification, collaborate with XLab researchers, and deliver to the system under a $500 budget. Applying lean meter. This could be needed or not. The manager might like this, so that's okay. But I think actually, weirdly enough, this is good, is that it shows that you can work well with others, because there's a reason I put teamwork and communication up, is almost every single entry-level job had that. You need to show that you can work as a team. So weirdly enough, in all of this, I think what's actually getting you the 1 in 75 is the fact that you mentioned CAD, the fact that you mentioned Excel, and the fact that you mentioned that you could work as a team. For offshore platforms, okay, part of the calibers, micrometers, height gauges. This could be useful, but we're close. Yeah, here it is. So this is only good because you mentioned it. Like you mentioned you worked with others, but I don't see MATLAB. I don't see Python. I did see CAD. Again, you don't need all of those, but I should still see them. I don't think I saw SolidWorks. You did have your bachelor. You did have the industry. You don't have the industry. I don't know what you did. I'm very sure that people that are mechanical engineers can understand, and they're going to be like, oh, clearly you flipped the floop. But I don't know. And the person reviewing your resume is unfortunately probably not going to know. I personally have not, like I said, recruited a mechanical engineer in over 7 years. You have to convince me, not convince, you have to show me what you did. And I don't see that. And you do have Excel, which is good. So you have about 40 to 50% of these, give or take, which is specifically why you're getting a 1 in 75. Because you don't need all of them. You need about 75%. And you have 50%. That's why you're getting a 1 to 75. I hope that made sense. It made sense up here. But yeah, you just need more keywords, and you need to describe it in a way that is understandable to the layman. I'm sure you see, yeah, the rest of your resume is basically the same thing. So, you do have some leadership experience down at the bottom, which can be useful because it does show that you can work on a team. But ideally, as an entry-level mechanical engineer, you're not going to be leading teams. You're going to be led. So, but you do show that. So again, this is like, that's why you're getting a 1 in 75. Add more keywords, make it comprehensible to the layman, fix up the formatting by a little bit, and you should have a lot more success. So, and if anybody else needs help, or they want to know where the heck I get the keywords from, that's on my Twitch stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. The link is also in the description below this video. Submit your resume. It's free. I do this for free. I just like helping people. So, yeah, send me your resumes, and let's go to the next one. This is a resume of a software engineer, I think. This could be a internship, but I don't actually know. Sorry, my camera's all messed up. So I think they're actually looking for an internship, in which case this is not going to be as relevant advice, because you do need to be specific for what type of software engineer you are, but not so much for the intern. The internships, you can be generalized, that's fine. But once you actually look for a job, you need to sort of pick a stack and then focus on that in your resume. So, they haven't landed any interviews yet, so they're looking for a summer internship. Okay. There are still 2 more rounds. They're targeting... Okay, so here's part of the problem is you are targeting a job in software engineering, DevOps, and cloud engineering. Those are wildly different jobs. Wildly different jobs. The qualifications for a DevOps is not going to be the same for a software engineer, and possibly not the same for a cloud engineer. You need to be specific about the type. Now, there are a little bit of similarities, but the actual tech stack is going to be different. So first off, this should be in 2 lines. Your formatting's off. Your formatting should look like, that's the old resume. Formatting should look like this. This is how your formatting should look. It is truly the best resume format. I swear to you. This is chaos and will get you rejected, which is what has been happening. And I don't do it because it looks pretty, because objectively, I think some of these look prettier than my format, but pretty doesn't get you interviews. It's basic and boring gets you interviews. So you can delete this whole section, doesn't matter. This should be in 2 lines, and then we get to your actual experience. Nothing here should be bolded. The more you bolden the resume, the less your chances. It's just so hard to find what we need in the 15 seconds we have. So, and then you need to pick. You need to pick if you're doing software engineering, DevOps, or cloud. And then you're going to put common keywords for those. And for both of them, what you do need is, this is specifically internship keywords, is how you took criticism, not led, but how you took criticism and how you can work in a team. So they get a lot of interns, and almost everybody forgets those soft skills. But I need to see here or here how you worked as a team. It's good that you have these like technical stuff. We do want those, but collaborating with 2+ cross-functional team members. Okay, but how did you collaborate? See, that's kind of the problem, is no one tells me about how. You can't just say, I collaborated, I'm good. If you went up to somebody and you said, I'm the best X in the world, they would be like, kind of sus, bro. But if you said, I am the best X in the world because I did X, Y, and Z, that's how it works. So I don't know what 2+ cross-functional team members for an internship is. That just sounds like team members. I need to know how you worked with them. I need to know that you took direction and criticism. This is nice, assisted in Python, but yeah, it just, there's so much here, and it's not a ton of what I'd be looking for. You have a couple of keywords that I'd be looking for, I will say, but like, the bolding is making it way worse. So you need to simplify this. Please don't make it this chaotic. Use this formatting. It is best formatting. But your biggest problem is your formatting is chaos. This is a very impacted thing. You don't tell me how you collaborated with people, and you're not focused, because here you have Unity, which could be a different keyword than C# and API. So typically C#, API, and Agile are good, but I need to know, like, what are you trying to do here? So you need to be very specific. You don't need to necessarily pick, like I said, full stack front end or whatever, but I do need to know if this is a DevOps resume, a cloud engineer intern resume, or a software engineer intern resume. That is where your first breakpoint is. So, and none of the bolding makes it worse. Next resume. This is a resume of a 1 second. So this was something the last person asked, but I forgot to say. So this goes to the last resume. So they were wondering how important cover letters are. Not very. People ask me all the time, Lee, how do you make a cover letter? And the answer is, I don't actually know. I don't read them. No recruiter I know reads them. The only time I've ever known a cover letter to be mandatory is when a hiring manager, we cannot convince the hiring manager to not have one. And even during that, I said, okay, I will be looking at the resume. I will not be looking at the cover letter. And they usually change their mind and move it to cover letters are not required. So I don't think you really need a cover letter in most cases. If you do have one, don't submit it unless you were absolutely forced to. The other thing is, if I to generate them with AI. Again, I don't read cover letters. I don't know a recruiter that does. I'm sure there's got to be one, but I'm not a fan of cover letters. I think cover letters should be gone as an industry standard. I think the resume gives us everything. So back to this resume. The problem is the resume that I now have up is a AI researcher engineer. The problem is that could be like 3 or 4 or 5 different jobs, and it's not specified enough. And this person did not give me a ratio or knowledge or anything. So the only thing I could really find that you need, and these are not going to be all of them, is JavaScript, Python, or GenAI, NLP, LLM, and then stuff like PyTorch, TensorFlow, DSPY. So, again, I know there's more, but I couldn't find them because I didn't want to get it wrong. So, this is way too long. This needs to be 1 line, and you can probably fit the honors into 1 line. Don't really care about relevant models. Skills, this whole section can be deleted. Again, skill sections don't matter. We have 15 seconds to find what we need, which you're then like, well, 15 seconds, skill section, good. No, skill section, bad. Because what we need needs to have a what you did, how you did it, and why you did it. That is why skill sections don't count, is we can't use this information. It's junk. So, okay, this should be 1 line. None of this should be bolding. Please, 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 please use this format. Engineered a medical res of Parkinson's body. I don't think I would need that. Wait, is this see, where's the AI? I don't see anything about AI here. AI research privacy and deployed it. Privacy preserving ML models. That's good. Again, there's too much. So even the few keywords that I needed, I don't see. So I need to see them here. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple of more keywords, but I don't see them. I don't see them. I see one thing of AI, which is ML, which stands for machine learning, and hopefully they would know what that is. They may not, but hopefully they do. Digital outlet, yeah, there's like nothing here. So don't do your resume like this. This is why you want to use this formatting, is we have 15 seconds to find it here, and it's hard to find. And I don't even the few keywords. So you need more keywords. You need to drill down on what your keywords are in the first place, which is you basically take like 10 to 15 good job descriptions and combine the keywords for all of those. Those are going to be the stuff in the qualifications, the must-have, the needed, those sections. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full-stack developer. They have been applying since December of last year. They have had about 3 interviews out of 600 plus applications, which is very bad. They said, I'm not sure if I'm underqualified for a software engineer position or if the job market is just bad right now. Probably the job market. Realistically, the resume is never a good way to tell if somebody is underqualified or not. It just shows the minimum qualification. But yeah, that's the point of a resume. So, but the job market's terrible. Like, to be clear, the job market is absolutely awful. So let's see what we can do to improve it. What we're looking for is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, at least in the United States. In the EU, the Python is switched with Java, Spring Boot, and microservices, I think. It might be wrong. It's off the top of my head. But the rest of them should be accurate. Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React, JS, API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture, extra language, and Git. So, let's see what they have and what the problem is. Designed and developed a library of UI components using Angular. Angular is good. Next.js is good. With over engineers daily. I don't care about the rest of this. Also, is 25K that impressive? The problem with 25K is if that is to a 3-person shop company, that might be impressive. If that is to say Apple or Google, 25K is nothing. So I don't know how impressive that really is. Also, every bullet point needs to be 1 line. Please use this format. It can be a long sentence. It can be a run-on sentence, but it needs to be 1 sentence. So this should be combined. So, but even then, there's nothing here that I would need. Integrated Docker, I don't really care. Into AWS, that's good. Enhancing system portability. Built and maintained a RESTful API. Database, improving 15% average. I don't care about average API latency. Just care that used Agile. Or API. Participated in Agile sprints. That's okay, actually. Okay. I don't need this much percentages. Also, nothing here should be bolded, and where's your education? Education should be up top. Here it is. Yeah, your education is... I don't need all of this either. I just need this, and... Are these impressive or not? Design algorithms, not really. I think you could keep the scholarship, but I don't know if that's as needed anymore. Oh yeah, you just graduated. Yeah. So this should be 3 lines. 1 line should have the university and the degree. The other should have the scholarship, and the third should have the activities, because you never know. Sometimes the activity stuff can get you a job. But it should also be up top. The education is a requirement. So, but yeah, where's your TypeScript, your Python, your JavaScript, your CSS, your HTML? I understand JS stands for JavaScript, but I need it written out, and that's not always the case, because JavaScript is not always front end. Sometimes it's back end, and sometimes it's both, and it's confusing. But yeah, I don't see any of this. It's hard to find some of these because there's a lot of extraneous information. But that's probably why you're getting some interviews, is there are okay keywords here. You're just kind of burying them. Like RESTful APIs is solid. AWS is good. Next and Node is great. Along with over here, you had Agile, which is good. It just, here's the problem. You adding this 20% increase in backlog testing is making it worse. You bolding this is making it worse. You bolding everything is making it worse. This right here isn't relevant. The rest of it is great, but that sentence isn't. So you added too much stuff. You need to prune it a little bit. Keep your education up at top. Add TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. I need those. Those are key. If you can, CI/CD as well, and SQL. I need SQL. Those are kind of the things you're missing. Also apply early. ATSs sort people in the order they apply. So if you were applicant 275, you will probably not get seen. But the faster you apply, the better. But no, it's not that you're underqualified. It is your resume is... It's not good, but it's also not the worst. Like it might be one of the better ones I've seen in the last 20 reviews. It's still not good, but out of the bat, it's better because you just added too much. So there's nothing really I can go to the next one. But yeah, that's all it is. You added too many keywords. You weren't focused, and your education is at the bottom. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of, I don't know. They put data analyst, machine learning, and then possibly intern. So the problem with this is I don't know which they're looking for, because a data analyst, a machine learning engineer, and a intern are all going to have wildly different skills. So what they told me is they were currently a rising third year searching for a co-op, which absolutely sounds like an astrology sign or something. They've been finding success with your resume, moderate, about 5 interviews in, I think, 150, which is really good. That's actually a really good ratio. If it's 5 interviews and 150 apps, that's phenomenal. I actually wouldn't change anything if that's working. I'm looking for full-time internship co-op positions and want to know if there's anything you can change. Where has some non-data analytics. Okay, so I think you're moving to data and analytics, which is, again, what these keywords are based, but not necessarily the internship. But I will be perfectly honest with you. If your resume is getting you 5 interviews per 150 and it's for internships, that's a phenomenal ratio. That's a 1 in 30, which is amazing for internships. So realistically, I could probably move that down to 1 in 25 to maybe 1 in 20 max, but 1 in 30 is phenomenal. So I would hesitate to even change anything. So the best I can do, because I think you said this is a separate one, is shrink this down to 2. Keep the dean's list for sure. Keep this. I guess 3 would work. I don't know if I need this. Technical knowledge is not really huge. I'd really rather see it here. Also, fix your formatting to this. Build a relationship with SQL, Microsoft Access. So I think SQL is good. We do like Excel and Office Suites, AI Assistant, Python and SQL, AI, yeah, we do have a little bit of those. So you already actually can kind of see that you have some of these keywords, but my problem is I'm not exactly sure what you want, so I wouldn't fully do this, but just on a formatting wise, keep it like this. This is what you really want. This is a little hard to read because it's kind of bunched up, and if you notice, these are not on the same line. You don't need these lines under work experience or education. You can just leave it like this. That is why I have these italicized, is it basically acts as sort of a line break itself. So, but you definitely should keep this. Probably just fix the formatting a little bit and you'll probably get like a 1 in 20, 1 in 22. But even though I'm not sure which keywords you want, I can already see you have some of them because I see a lot of API. I see Python and SQL. I see Microsoft Access. I see AI. I think I would like one as Excel if you're doing with data analysts, but that's not as needed if you're doing the machine learning. So overall pretty good. And if you have a 1 in 30 ratio, I wouldn't even change anything. I think you're good. just tighten up the formatting a little bit, but that's all I could really do for this one. If anybody needs any more help, please drop by my live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 p.m. And that's at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And if you need more help, submit them below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm here to help you all out. And I will see you all in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.